Today I will be revisiting my old high school art project. Well, only one piece in particular for now. I don't believe it had a fancy title. The theme I gave myself was Norse mythology for my last year. I would depict some Norse gods in my style drawing on my tablet, then my teacher would print them out and hang them in the Hall of Fame with the rest of the graduates' works. This particular piece, depicting Thor fighting Jormungandr, was supposed to be a physical painting. Acrylics on wooden board, as tall as me, I think. Only really dedicated and passionate students got offered to do the 2-meter tall board, so I felt obligated to do it. But unfortunately, COVID-19 had other plans. I believe for 2 years straight, we didn't show up to school outside of taking final exams in the classrooms, so I had no opportunity to even see the art studio, let alone work on a year-long project with acrylics. So this piece ended up being a digital PNG I worked on for maybe a week. The background was inspired by a photo off the coast of Iceland, so I decided I must include it in the painting. At the time, I was extremely happy with this piece. It was more complicated than anything I had to show for at the time. But looking back now that I'm an adult with a fully cooked frontal lobe, I can't help but feel like it's way too colorful for an apocalypse depiction. The skill being lower than my current one is natural, but doesn't change the fact that an art piece I used to be proud of looks like really goofy to me right now. So I decided it's time to prove myself that I can still do something like this and be proud. I redrew this piece 5 years later, so today. While you watch this piece being made, let me tell you a little bit about the process. First, you'll notice I'm using a different offshore composition here, inspired by this photographer's work. I will show the Instagram post on the screen. Consider following them, their work is stunning and incredible. I knew my painting process would deform the rock over time, so I wanted to trace the outline for guidance to begin my sketch. You'll see by the end, the rock looks nothing like the sketch or the photo, being the work of my non-existent landscaping skills. I'll have to study those at some point, and I'm sure I'll try to recreate this piece once I understand rocks better. But for now, trying to at least keep to the silhouette of this magnificent photo was what I settled for. You can see the struggle I had with Jormungandr. I'm gonna call him Yor for simplicity's sake from now on. Blocking the world serpent into the drawing was tricky, as I needed him to both look obviously absolutely huge and also fit in the canvas. If I show too much of him and he fits in the composition perfectly, he'll look less impressive, but if I don't block him in clearly enough, I will fail to actually tell the story here. Also, the change in perspective and how Yor is now at a 3-4 angle instead of side profile make this pop a little more. It makes the interaction between him and Thor look more natural compared to my first attempt. They don't even lock eyes here. Both look like they're too busy looking cool to notice each other. I used God of War's Thor as the fake design inspiration for Thor here. I didn't want to rely on whatever I had before, which, to be fair to myself, I only used Marvel's Thor as inspiration, and the word of my Danish friend that he actually was a ginger, and came up with this little fella. It doesn't do justice to Thor, it actually looks really silly. For this version, I went with the absolute legend that is the God of War model, and basically placed the colors at the general location they would be. This was good enough for me. I could spend forever finding the details, zoomed into Thor enough to color each individual strand of hair and give the soles of his boots intricate designs. But for the purpose of this piece, I didn't see the point in doing so much work that would go unnoticed in most viewers' experiences. They would first look at the huge body of Yor, which I didn't quite render every scale individually either, really, but When viewed as a whole, the details should be a bonus, not an obligation. You understand the piece without them, so I felt pretty confident where I left the piece at. This piece took me 6 hours to make. If I poured double the time into it, I bet I could make it look even better. But it looks pretty darn good as it is. I have some more pieces in my last year gallery I could revisit, depicting more gods. I had Freya and Frey, hell, Loki transforming into a mare in that one particular story. But one piece I look forward to revisiting would be the piece I never finished, because I didn't have the skills at the time. The piece would depict Odin riding Sleipnir. The sketch did not emit confidence. Odin, like Thor, looked nothing like a legendary figure, and he looked even younger than Thor. Additionally, Sleipnir was particularly hard to depict. A horse is hard enough to draw, but with double the amount of limbs, my 16-year-old brain couldn't comprehend it. I look forward to the challenge, and I will post on my channel when I finish it. Subscribe if you would like to see something like that. If you enjoyed yourself watching this video, I would be thrilled to know. Please tell me how you feel in the comments. I also have a website where you can follow me on my social, donate, or purchase merchandise from. I particularly love my pink mug. I have 2 of them. You can visit candlebloom.art to learn more. Also, as I said before, please like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Bye bye!